as well, to get yourself out of those holes that he suddenly digs for you is extremely difficult. And so I think Novak will be hugely sort of satisfied with how he's played.
Well, he made a good early start. That was something he wanted to come up with, and you've got some examples of it.
He did, and also that sometimes, Marcus, too much knowledge is not a great thing. I've never suffered from that. But Tommy here perhaps was just a little too worried early on. As you can see here, Novak's just about to strike this ball up there in the top of your picture, and clearly he's seen him play as much as we've seen him play, and he's like thinking, whoa, there's a big hole here. So from that point of view, you can totally understand why he's jogging along on the baseline, and he's looking to sort of make this move here. It's a big point. Novak's up 2-1. He's played very solid. First point of any game, I think, is absolutely huge. And as he does that, it just leaves that kind of space for Novak to hit a very safe winner. Here on break point, just great balance more than anything else. Just good anticipation, good guess. And the moment that he had him at the net, he knows he's not a great defender of the net, so he was always going to get well on his way. One of the keys to playing a guy like Robredo, though, is just not to give him the same kind of rhythm and go to that weakness, but go to that weakness in a little bit of, in a different way. Leaf was talking about it, and the height that Novak had on the ball at times to Tommy's backhand was absolutely perfect. And here we've got a little illustration in the same game. We're looking at this kind of point here. Novak taking the ball down the line, good cross-court shot here, and then the one back. And obviously you can see here at the bottom of your picture, you can see where Tommy is. He's in a little bit of trouble. He's a little bit out of position. But the shot coming up here from Novak is just perfect because he knows he could take it on. He could possibly take that ball on up the line, and I think there'd be a lot of players in the world that aren't as comfortable as Novak in moving that perhaps would take that ball on feeling as though there was quite a lot of space. But what Novak's going to do, he's going to drop a nice high shot in here. And obviously as a single-hander, what you can't then do as you're running across from where he is take this ball on the rise. And that's a big problem for Robredo because he's got to let the ball come down, as you'll see. And he actually ends up mistiming it. Novak was so safe with that particular shot that, okay, it did end up winning the point. And as we go through to this one, there's a lovely little sequence of shots here. You can see there, right, so he's hit a shot down the line. Robredo clearly wants to keep his forehand in his play. We talked about this at the start of the match. He wants to play a lot of his forehands from that part of the court. So he's taken the ball up the line to Novak's backhand. He's made his little move across to try and keep it in. But Novak's shot back is so good, in my opinion, that he starts the process of winning this point with this particular one. Doesn't look like much, but it's very flat. It's not a rolled, sort of controlled, safe shot. What he's trying to do is to get Tommy off balance, and you'll see here, Robredo is going to hit this shot with his forehand, but he runs around it, and he has to keep going. So now, already, in this particular point, he's created a little bit of space up the line now. So now he's gained the advantage. Even though it doesn't look like it at this particular point, where you see at the back of your picture there, Novak sort of way behind the baseline. It doesn't look in probably a lot of people's minds that Novak's now in control of this point. But as you see, he takes this one up the line, and Tommy is in all sorts of trouble at that particular point, because now Novak's got the ball, I think, on his terms. He's also made a good move across on the diagonal. He's starting to take Robredo's time away. And again here, we're going to see a lovely floated shot from Novak. And you can see Tommy having a set-up. You can see the high take back over the shoulder. But he's got a problem because this ball has really come off the court and cannot, as you see it rolled on here, it's above the perfect hit zone. He's above his shoulder. He's not able really to get too much. He's barely trying to hang on to the ground there with his front foot, as you can see. And there's not much of a follow-through. It's a little bit more abbreviated. He hasn't really got his weight going into the court as much as he would like. And therefore, this ball is going to drop a little bit shorter. But I think this kind of shot for me, Marcus, I know it's quite a convoluted point, but I do think it's an important point to make, that there's an awful lot going on in the guys' minds as they're playing at a point like this. Now, Novak, at this particular point, has played what I consider to be a great point in terms of wrestling control. But that shot from Robredo, even though it doesn't have much on it and it's not a threat, if you see where it comes through to right there into Novak's hit point, it's actually around his knee and lower. He actually can't attack it as much as he would love to take this ball on, because that's why he hit the floated shot. He actually just knocks the ball up the middle of the court and just reset the point. And, okay, Tommy, what are you going to do? Are you going to try and do something that I can react to? And he does. And he creates space for the forehand into the cross-court right there. And that takes an awful lot of courage, having worked so hard to do that. And I made the point, you've got to get it out of his hit zone, because this is what happens if you don't. And again here, look, no, he's not able, on that particular one, to jump the ball up high. And so, therefore, Tommy is right in the power zone. Maximum power, boom. Got to work the ball. You've got to kind of figure out what your opponent's strengths are and how best to try and, in the middle of a point, just wrestle that control away.
Be patient, that's what you're saying. Novak gets himself into a good position, but it's not perfect. Just bide your time, knowing that something else will eventually come along.
Exactly, and that's what I say. You need to have the courage. You need to believe in yourself that much. But you know what? I've played such a great point, and so many times the temptation when you've